By 1967, there was no FCMB, but the Brotherhood that laid the foundation of the bank started in 1967. This is how it happened. Immediately the Biafra War started in 1967, almost all the Igbo people living in Lagos left their homes and moved down to eastern Nigeria. Dr. Alex Ekweme was one of those that was living in Lagos, but had now moved down to the east because of the war. He had a house in Apapa, Lagos, and immediately the war started, some gamblers took over this abandoned house. But he had a neighbor who was a good Nigerian. This neighbor was Otumba Michael Shubomi Balogun, who later became the founder of FCMB. Otumba Balogun noticed that Ekweme's house had been taken over because it was abandoned for months. He went into the compound with some policemen he arranged, drove away the gamblers, who now used the house not only for gambling but also as a hiding place for the bad boys in Lagos. At first, he was doing it because allowing the bad boys to live close to his house was a threat to his own house. They may attack or sneak into his compound one day to steal. When they are done stealing what was left in Ekweme's house, after successfully driving them away, he thought of ways to turn the house to good use. That was when it occurred to him to do some renovations and rent it out. He did so, collected the rent and kept. For the 3 years that the war lasted, he was collecting rent from the new tenants. After the war, Alex Ekweme came back to Lagos and saw the changes in his house. Otumba narrated to him what happened and handed over to him the rent he had collected. Ekweme was so happy that he had a neighbor that cared. According to Otumba Shubomi, Ekweme looked at him in shock and said, "Mike, I am very grateful." From that day, their neighborhood and relationship became stronger and closer. This was the beginning of the Brotherhood. Many years later, by this time, Otumba was already planning to set up a bank of his own, and he needed to get an approval before he could set up this bank. He had written several letters to CBN for the license to operate a bank. Most of the letters were never responded to, but Otumba did not give up. In fact, he came up with a new strategy. He wants someone who can link him up to the then CBN governor so that his license can be approved because he had met all the requirements. One day, he heard that the Vice President of Nigeria would be attending a church service at a cathedral church very close by. He arranged with his wife to draw the attention of the Vice President. According to Otumba, at the cathedral church, my wife and I planned that when the Vice President was being led out, that I would grab his clothes and my wife would grab that of his wife. When we made these moves, the security people with them thought something was wrong with us. But the Vice President looked back and said, "Shubomi, Bimbola, what is happening?" That Vice President was Alex Ekweme. Otumba went ahead and told him how he has been applying for a banking license, and Ekweme told him to come and see him. He also assured him that by the following Thursday, the process would have been completed and he would get an approved license. By 3 p.m. on that Thursday, a minister phoned Otumba and said, "Egbon, congratulations." The Vice President says, "Your license has been approved." That was how FCMB was formed. That brotherly love he showed to a neighbor, that brotherhood has given birth to his life dream. No matter how small, every good deed has a good reward.
Thank you for your time here. And if you enjoyed something like this, it would be good if you click the like button and subscribe. Just show some brotherly love